Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be spring deep cleaning my kitchen, and we've been here roughly about a year now, so there is some decluttering that needs to get done, and also some areas really needed a lot of help. So I'm going to walk you through how I successfully do this in a short period of time while trying to keep my sanity. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Yessie, and I show people how to clean and manage their home while dealing with depression, anxiety, and or ADHD. If you are coming back from another video, thank you so much, and I hope I'm able to show you guys a lot of tips and tricks today to manage your kitchen. So I always recommend people to be cleaning and or decluttering from left to right or right to left, whichever one you want to do it. Just stick to one direction. And the reason this is important, it's because it's going to diminish the amount of times that you are bouncing around back and forth. And it's also going to keep you focused, especially if you're someone that is dealing with ADHD like myself. It can be very easy to get sidetracked. And so for me, I've just made this rule to work from one direction to the other and not move on until I've actually finalized everything that needed to be done in that section. When you are decluttering, I want you to make sure that you are getting rid of things that you have clearly not moved or touched or used in the last few weeks. It's important that we're sticking to that rule. If it hasn't been used and it has no use, then it's time to go. Now, I know it's really hard sometimes. A lot of us have these emotional attachments to certain things, especially mugs. And I like to have holiday mugs, which doesn't make it very easy. But I have made a rule for myself. I keep 4 ready-to-use mugs, which are meant to be there for whenever there's company over, families visiting, or just for my everyday use. And then I have an additional 4 to 5 mugs of my favorite choice of a holiday or a decor or a gift. And then the rest must go, because at that point, I'm going to be washing and cleaning more cups and mugs than I am probably going to be enjoying doing, and time is of the essence. So as you can see here, I have managed to keep one set of dishes for specific use. We are a family of 4, and this is all we have. I do have additional stuff for the kids. There's some things that they prefer, like smaller cups or non-glass cups, and so I do try to have that for them in a drawer that they have access to. And then another section that I'm tackling right now is this right here, where I try to keep my spices and medicines and vitamins ready to go. This was really hectic. So I grabbed a few clear containers that I already had that were meant to be for the fridge, and I just recycled them and reused them somewhere else. So I went ahead and placed all of the stuff that needed to be easily accessible in these clear containers, which made it a little bit more manageable and less cluttered. And then I removed all the bigger containers that I was not using and just kind of spaced everything out there for me to use. So I only really spend about 10 minutes decluttering, because if I spend more time on that, I tend to get really worked up and kind of lost in transition. And I really want to be able to declutter properly and not just set things aside on a pile. So I did take my time to make sure that whatever I was getting rid of, it went straight to where it should have. Now, for my cleaning, I always let everyone know that you should be cleaning from top to bottom, because if you clean the midsection and then you go dusting the top part, all of that dust is going to end up falling in your freshly cleaned zones, and you don't want that. So I have learned that if I'm going to deep clean an area like my kitchen, I'm going to go into the cabinets first and then clean everything at the bottom. I have been using this Swifter, which is meant specifically to be used on either windows or my cabinets, but not the floors. And I just tried using that to clean with a microfiber, because I cannot reach certain areas and I don't want to have to work harder. I want to work smarter. So I use my Swifter mop for that as opposed to mopping. And then I'm going in and actually giving these these countertops a good scrubbing because they were so greasy and there were so many stains of things. They just really needed some love. I'm also using this spray away polish because after I use soap, it kind of looked a little dull. So I'm going to go in and just polish those areas to give that extra shine. It also smells really good. So it's kind of like a win-win. But I'm doing this in sections, again, from left to right or right to left, so that I stick to what I'm doing and I don't end up cleaning other things that I'm not supposed to, staying focused where I should be. Now, as for my microwave, I love using this Angry Mama. If you've used it before, you know how versatile this little one is. You put vinegar in it, you pop it in there for a couple minutes, and it starts steaming the vinegar all throughout. And then all you do is go in and wipe it. So I set that bad boy going, and I start cleaning my stove during that time. And my stove was just recently cleaned, but there was still a lot of food crumbs. I just used the Dawn Power Wash soap and get my sponge going and give it a good scrub. This didn't really need like a thorough deep cleaning, but there was a lot of kind of like stains and grease and oil, and I really just wanted it to feel clean and cohesive after deep cleaning the other stuff. So I went in and just gave it a good cleaning. I debated actually pulling it out because this is a whole unit. I could pull it out, but I went ahead and just skipped it this time. Then if you have a microwave at the top instead of the vents, there's going to be these filters that you can pull out of there and clean them. I checked these out. They were pretty clean, so I'm not going to clean them this time. But typically there are those things, and you want to make sure you pull them out and give them a good washing and stick them back in. You can replace them as well, but I like to just kind of extend the life of it, so I just go ahead and wash them. And then I'm using spray away to clean the glass of these things. If you have anything with a panel, a control panel, please avoid spraying any cleaners on it. It can actually go under the panel and damage it. Now I'm again going to go and use my Swiffer to clean the bottom part of the cabinets, and that is because I have a really bad back and knee, and I'm not trying to be bending over the entire time that I'm cleaning this. So I would definitely recommend using the Swiffer to clean this. It's just so much easier. You can still get in there and scrub, but for me it's just more practical. And like I said, I have a really bad back and a knee. I'm really not supposed to be bending over so much because also I have like the separation of my stomach muscles. So there's just so much that I'm trying to avoid here. And if you're like me and you have to be cautious of that, then I definitely recommend using that Swiffer and a microfiber with the cleaner, or a bucket of warm water where you can kind of rinse it out and use it as you go. I definitely recommend you going in and really scrubbing your sink. Now, I try to scrub the sink every other day, but you really need to get in there and wash everything, because it's sometimes the cause of smells in your kitchen, and it's important that you're cleaning it. I also like to put in a little bit of white vinegar and some water just to kind of rinse out any gunk that's in that little food section where all the food goes. I will say though, a lot of people like using vinegar and baking soda for that like reaction, but you're neutralizing it, and realistically it's not doing much. I've also seen videos where people like to pour boiling hot water, and that's really bad for your pipes. So I would recommend not doing that. I would just say pour a little bit of vinegar and kind of run the thing a little bit, and then pour normal warm water but not boiling. And then I typically don't polish my sinks, but every now and then I just like to go in there and really scrub it down. So spring cleaning is one of those times where I go in there and give it a nice little polish, and it looks so nice and shiny, and it just kind of fits in with a whole clean kitchen. Now, this is the most that I'm going to be doing for my kitchen. We've only been here for a year. There's not a lot happening, but I am going to come back in a couple weeks and declutter a few other sections. I hope you guys enjoy this spring cleaning kitchen video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, and I will be coming back with more spring cleaning videos for you guys. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Home.Cleaningtips, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.